Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nuke coming at you with another episode of Day Trading with Nuke. And we have your watch list for this morning, December 7th, 2018. Pearl Harbor Day. Don't let that forget you. Don't let your stocks and your trading get sunk in the water. I know, too soon, shouldn't be said, but welcome to the world of inappropriateness. It's a sad day around here for me. Most of my friends were all vets, and I've still got some World War II vets hanging around, and yeah, December 7th is kind of a shitty day. But anyway, we're going to talk about what's going on in the market, and the first one we're going to start out with is Apple. And actually, you know what? Let me give you an overview. We're going to have 9 on the watch list, so I'm going to fly through these bad boys. We're going to deal with Apple, Netflix, NVDA, Facebook, BABA, Tesla. And then on the affordable stocks, we're going to look at AMD, CGC, and CRON. All right, Apple. Apple didn't have quite the range of motion today compared to yesterday and normal. See how much pre-market low to high was? And then this morning, it's under half of that. So, yeah, I would expect to see a little more breakout compared to this pre-market range. But we're not even going to call it. We're just going to look at where potentials could go to. If she breaks to the high side and gets out of the pre-market high of 175, I expect that we could see topping out $2 higher at around 177.75-ish. And if she breaks the pre-market low of 172, this thing could go down to 170.52. It's been on a little bit of a roller coaster ride on the 4-hour chart. It had that big nosedive. And really, man, it just come down hard the last month or so. And then here we are looking at it, for possibly about a week where it just kind of shot back up. It had that cover pop, and then it had a steep sell-off there yesterday, or day before yesterday. So what was that, Monday? Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, whatever day of trading that was, Monday or Tuesday, it had a real steep, and then it had a little bit of a pop here. So what I'm looking at now is we're kind of doing a little basing, and I expect this thing's probably going to have a bad day and continue on down to the downside. But being Friday, you have to watch out. It could just consolidate, and then we won't see the actual move until Monday. Next up is going to be NVIDIA. Actually, Netflix. Sorry. Ooh, I'm all over the place this morning. Too much or not enough coffee. So we had this big old move down, and then we had the cover pop, and then it fell down again, and now we're trying to do a little basing. It's kind of like a little consolidation. I just don't have much faith in it. And what's that looking like for us is something like this. And I don't see it breaking out of this triangle just yet. What I do see, and especially because we had very little pre-market action compared to yesterday, right? Same like with Apple. Look at the pre-market action yesterday versus where we're at today. So that's why I took a couple of extra fibs on here just to make up the difference. But expect that if it can get out of this pre-market range of 280 on the low side to 283 on the high side, if it breaks up to the high side, I would expect to see maybe 287-ish, 287.5. On a hell of a great day, maybe 291. But if it breaks the low side, see it drop down to 276, maybe come on down to 271. All right, next up, NVIDIA. Ooh, let's see. Oh my God, look at that pre-market action yesterday versus the pre-market action today at around the same time. So, as a tech stock, it had the sell-off, and then it's had the cover pop, and then it dropped again. Now we're building back up, and we just have to see where that's going to go. So what that's looking like for us in the grand scheme of things is probably a wedge, something like this, right? So I don't think she's ready to break that, but who knows, right? So what we're looking at is if it maintains the support level of 156, 157-ish, you could see it jump up to around the 160 for a $3 mark. If it can break this resistance, see it pop up to 163. But if it can't and it drops below that support, expect it could drop all the way to 153. So if this thing gets going and has a good range of movement for today, you could actually be seeing movement in the line of around $7. So a lot of range and potential there. All right, next up is going to be Facebook. If my fingers are ever work. Facebook, again, like the rest, not nearly as much pre-market action today as what they had yesterday. Tech stock, it had the drop, had the recovery yesterday, where some of the other ones were actually just cover popping. Anyway, what we're looking at here, possibly if it breaks out of the pre-market high, we could see this thing jump up to around the 142.11 mark. If it breaks the pre-market support of 138, it could drop down to about 136. All in all, looking for about $4 worth of range of movement out of this one today. And if you notice, I'm not doing a whole lot in terms of marking off my trend lines just yet, just because most of the market really hasn't picked a direction I'm happy with. And so I will wait and redraw my trend lines later on in the day as that develops. All right, next up, Bobbity. Same thing. Yesterday had way more pre-market action than what we have today. Looking at it today, it's brutal, guys. It's brutal. I would expect to see more consolidation here. If it breaks the pre-market resistance to the high side, expect it could go up to 159. Breaks the pre-market support to the low side, could go from 154 down to 151. Either way you're looking at it, about $5 worth of range of motion today is what I'm expecting if it gets out of that pre-market channel. All right, Tesla. Tesla has been ripping faces off today. Tesla is one mean SOB. Let's see. Just strictly going on the volume of shares. Last I checked, Tesla was leading the higher dollar stocks when it come to volume by almost 50,000 shares traded so far today. So what does that mean for us with Tesla? Well, as you can see, we're getting close to reaching these highs, and $10 range of movement is not unheard of for Tesla. $17, not a problem. Tesla can do it. So on the daily chart, well, I know this is the 4-hour, but trust me, there's a day up in here, right? We're not that far away from capping out, and if you look across over to here, we're right at pre-market or support. Support and resistance that we've had previously. So this thing could decide to jump up and go for a run, or it could hit its head here at just another $3 and try and test back down. So it's anyone's guess, but definitely keep your eyes on that. So what are we looking at here? If it breaks this pre-market high and it goes on the run, expect to see this thing jump up at least to 372. And if it gets some real steam behind it, it could go up as high as 390, no problem. If it doesn't, hits its head and rejects it, expect it to retest the 361. And if it does break that, it could go as low as the 351. But Tesla, if it gets some steam to it, I'm actually leaning more towards the long end on this one. Just because it's Tesla and it does what it wants. AMD. All right, AMD, my darling devil, or devil darling, however you want to put her. Not nearly as much pre-market action today as yesterday, but this is more of typical. So I actually really kind of like AMD today because it's back kind of in its typical range of motion. And then what we're looking at on the 4-hour chart is we had all that drop, but this is some good consolidation. And what I like about this is it's firmly ping-ponging into this wedge. So if it breaks to the high side, expect to see it top out around 2181. And if it breaks the low side, probably down around 2067. All told, about $2 range of motion is what I expect. And what does that look like if it keeps going up, right? If it does break up to the high side, we can pop these on real quick. 2257, 2225. And then on the low side, yeah, I don't expect to see it get much below 2067. If it did break 2067, though, definitely 2027. So from where we're at right now, about a dollar range down and a dollar range up, and that should cover you really good. Like I said, $2 range of motion on the day for Facebook, or not Facebook, AMD, and you should be fairly safe with that assessment. All right, next up, CRON. Yeah, and watch it make a liar out of me for saying it that way, right? Not even going to chart this one. What I wanted to show you is CRON, it's one of our weed stocks, had a huge jump up. And where did that cap off at so far? It's capped off just shy of $1. What was that? Like $1.40 of previous highs. So I do expect to see it fill some of this gap back in here, but it's a very affordable stock. Currently running at $10.45. So I don't know. I mean, I just liked it. You know, it's got a lot of range of motion. Why is this? This don't make no damn sense. Looky here. So this thing says it jumped all the way up to 14.57. This says it's at 13. But why the hell is the current price? Oh, yeah, because they ain't opened it up yet. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So just watch this one because it's got that hellacious gap up. Now, it might catch wind and keep going, try and break old highs, or it might fail a little bit and try and close this gap back down. But keep your eyes on it. Really cheap to get into and a lot of potential range of motion. Last up, CGC, the Canadian weed stock, and you can see it had a lot of potential. Got all the way up to right at $60. Now we're hovering around half of that, but look at this gap up. We went from $30 to $32, which don't seem significant until you actually look at the value of that. And the actual value of that move is 8%. 8% overnight it went up. And this one actually looks like it's kind of holding. So where she stops, nobody knows. According to the fibs, on the high side, we're looking around 34.75. And on the low side, around 27.57. But remember, it's got to break out of this pre-market range of basically 30 to 32.5. So it's anybody's business up in here, but I'm leaning long on this one. Anyway, that's 15 minutes or less. Let's see. Oh, well. I'm still getting used to the new software, guys. There's a lot of changes coming down the pipeline. But I look forward to doing this for you guys and see where we end up, right? All right. Without any further ado, I'm going to kick this thing out, get it processed over. And I know the room's kind of messy. We've got a lot of changes. We're getting the wife set up for her YouTube channel. And she's going to be doing gaming and streaming. I'm still doing the stocks over here in this corner. We got a lot of cool swag from TrickTrades. We're going to fill the wall with some t-shirts and some flags from the military and, you know, some TrickTrades stuff. And guys, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming on the way for the new year. And I look forward to being there with you guys. So let's stay positive, stay green. Don't forget, today is Friday, so watch yourselves. Also, Trump has been tweeting like a madman. So don't be surprised if the market has some ridiculous fluctuations, and look out for those algos, because when he tweets, the algos go off, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So you might want to stay small today, and keep in mind that it's that Friday. You know, Friday's dangerous days. Not always our best day for trading. So be safe, stay green, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments below, and I will get back with you guys soon. All right, let's kick this pig.